count of 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to this episode of Diaspora Scholars TV, where we bring you stories about the journeys of our students and scholars who have left Africa to come to the United States to pursue their careers. Today I'm excited to meet Nicodemus. He's a student.
Thank you for pronouncing it right.
Yeah, I pronounce right? Oh, I got it right. So we are meeting Nicodemus at Central State University in deep Ohio. It's in rural Ohio. In these episodes, we go deep in the United States to find students who are really, cut out for great things. I was talking to Nicodemus earlier, and he says he wants to go to Congress via an academic route. So this is his story. So welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
You are a student here at Central State.
Yes.
What are you studying?
Degree in political science.
A degree in political science?
Yes.
Master's or bachelor's?
No, bachelor's.
Bachelor's degree.
Yes.
But you already have a degree.
We still need to learn more because we have a plan and a goal to find.
Wait, you already have a degree?
Yes, I have a degree in public administration.
A degree in public administration?
Yeah.
From which school?
From UT Dallas. That is University of Texas in Dallas.
Okay, so University of Texas, Dallas, you have a degree in public administration.
Yes, please.
Then you you came to Ohio to study for another degree.
Yeah.
And that is a degree in political science.
Yes.
And then from here?
I have to still get a master's in public policy.
A master's in public policy.
And law.
So let's take it one more time. So you've done first degree in a degree in public administration.
Let me slightly break it down.
Okay.
So when it comes to public administration,
yeah,
you learn more about institutes,
mm-hmm.
the bureaucracy, the institutes that you have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Then when you learn in political science, you're learning democracy, dictatorship, understanding of the forms of government, the people in charge.
So it's more or less like you want to study both the political, arm of government versus the executive arm of government.
Yes, that's the goal, because if I want to make a difference, this is my understanding, and this is why I do what I do. If I want to make a difference, then I have to understand where I'm coming from and what I'm getting into. Because most of my peers, in quotes, because most of them think I'm 20, 21, and I'm with them in class, but most of my peers point out a problem, but they are not willing to correct it. They victimize themselves. I don't have no offense with someone thinking, oh, we're black, we're Negroes, the world is already beating us. But even our counterparts in Africa went through the same.
Yeah.
They just didn't term it as slavery. But they went through the same means. They were mistreated. Exactly. They were mistreated in the same ways. They were forced to work on lands, just like people were forced to work on lands.
Right here in the U.S.
And I'm talking about being forced in your own land. You're paying taxes in your own land.
By people who look like you.
And then you're stripped of your rights and you have to fight for your independence. Similar stories, different continents. But this is the difference. I don't come in with the mentality of I'm disadvantaged. I'm already aware mentally that I have a slight disadvantage, but I don't allow it to define me.
What really inspires you, Nicodemus? I mean, you seem to have a very clear peace of mind of where you want to go. You've already defined the problems from a global perspective, and you seem to have a way of solving it. But you need certain tools that are academic tools.
Yes.
And so from here, from Central State University, Ohio, where do you want to go?
No, we have like 5 options.
5 options?
Yes, but 2 are my main options. Ohio State University.
Ohio State?
And Howard. When I mention those 2, I mean
Howard.
Yes.
So Howard, that is in
D.C.
In Washington, D.C.
Yes.
So Howard is historically black.
Historically black, but
a community university like Central State.
Yes.
But why those 2?
Now, for Howard, if I want to get into the front door of politics. That's Capitol Hall.
You want to do it from DC?
Yes. But then it's easy for me when I say I'm from Howard, because we also have to accept that there are schools that when you mention, kick doors
Yes.
without hassle. So I look at Howard as Capitol Hall directly. You've done
That is
your
a
best.
political mind.
Yes, you've done it. This is reality. I'm gonna go off topic a bit. Funny.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
My mom used to work in the Ministry of Education and Sports in Uganda.
Oh, so your mom was from Uganda?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So she used to work. My dad is Nigerian.
So your dad is Nigerian. Your
My
mom is Ugandan.
Half. No, that's why I become a Kenyan. She's half Ugandan and half Kenyan.
Your mom is half Kenyan,
Yes.
half Ugandan.
Yes.
Your dad?
Entirely Nigerian.
You are true African
Yes.
young man
We
with a clear mind of where you want to go.
Yes, I looked when I was in history classes, and I looked at the people like Kwame
Nkrumah of Ghana.
Mzee Jomo
Mzee Jomo
Kenyatta,
Kenyatta.
Prime Minister Raila, Odinga, the senior.
The senior, not the junior.
Yes,
Yeah,
not the junior.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the likes of, I don't know, Obote, even Amin, the good parts of him. I'm not going to focus on the dictatorship because that's also propaganda, according to the parents I had.
Okay.
My grandma, grandfather, and mom had a different perspective. And that started actually opening our minds.
So you grew up in Kenya as well?
Yes. We grew up in Kenya. I was in Kenya for 3 years. But then it was a tradition. I used to visit every December. And that's why we have you when you wanaita Kiswahili kisanifu, because all my holidays I was in Mombasa.
Oh my God.
All my holidays I was in Mombasa. And that trained us.
I mean, you are well schooled in African culture because of your interaction with all these environments.
Yes.
You know, you've gone to school in Kenya. Your mom was working as a civil servant in Uganda.
Yes.
Your father is Nigerian.
Yes, and I spent 2 years in Nigeria too.
Oh, you
Just
also
2
lived
years.
in Nigeria?
Yes, 2 years. Straight 2 years.
So where did you go to, your early years of education there?
My early years of education entirely were in Uganda.
Oh, Uganda.
Yes.
Okay, so which part of Uganda?
Kampala.
Oh, Kampala.
Yeah, because she's a civil servant.
Oh, yes, of course you are in Kampala.
Yes. So we grew
Kampala
up
is very vibrant, I know.
vibrant, but now this is a funny story. The current opposition of Uganda right now, Bobby Wine, aka Chakwan,
Yes.
where he came from is exactly where we grew up. In
Oh,
Kamwacha. So
you came from the same neighborhood as
yes.
Bobby Wine?
So the
I
ghetto kind of shapes you.
You
I
seem to be speaking like Bobby Wine. Yeah.
I have conversations with my sister. She's older than me. She's like a 9 years gap with me, but we talk as age mates.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm on table, I tell her one thing. I'm like, yes, we're in the US. We appreciate that we're in the US, but I always keep it in mind where I came from. And I don't rubbish the childhood I had. I grew up in the ghetto, not as an underprivileged.
Okay.
So I don't want to use those lines of, we're poor. I had a mother that was working in government, so I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I went to one of the top schools in Uganda.
Yeah.
My primary were in Holmesdale. It's a household primary school. We went to King's College, Budo.
Oh, that's a good school.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't want to lie. Then from King's College,
Of course,
Budo,
I studied about that school in education classes. Yeah, it's a good school.
I was in King's College, Budo. Then I was also in Kira College, Butiki, which is Ginger, before we transitioned to the US.
Oh,
So it will be a blunted lie for me.
You are a truthful guy. I mean, you espouse virtues of somebody who can be a great leader.
Thanks to the training of the
Do you want to go to Congress, or do you want to find opportunity to lead Africa? I mean,
this was my hypothetical plan. I was discussing this with my professor sometime, and I was like, even after doing my years in Congress, and even aiming for the top seat,
wow,
would transition to go to Africa. But I was like, I have not seen it happen. But the mere fact that we have the dual citizenship, that I can still contest in all these countries by the virtue of the fact that at least by birth, or by decent, we have parents and
Yeah.
what's over there, we could try and rewrite history. So it's an open book.
It's an open book.
As long as there are no laws that say if you've contested in one side, but you still have nationality of the other, you're allowed, then why not?
You'll go for it.
Exactly.
So after, masters in public
Policy.
policy,
Yes.
then you now go for a degree in law.
Yeah. There's the schools, those two schools do joint.
Or joint,
Yes.
it's a joint program.
Yes, so you could just do
Okay.
the 4 years, do a law degree, and also graduate with a Masters of Public Policy.
Nicodemus,
Yes, sir.
there are people watching you from Africa, and even young men and women like you.
Yes.
What is that piece of advice that you can tell them so that they end up having these kind of ideals, a futuristic, positive outlook that is embedded in hard work?
Yes.
What can you tell them?
One, this is what I rely on. So I'm not going to give them advice. I'm also going to tell them what has been keeping us. Me being an honor student is not because I want to.
Oh, you are a honor student.
Yes.
Your
4.0.
grades have to be, oh my God,
4.0 student.
4.0 student.
Yes.
4.0 viewers is simply grade A in everything.
Yes. So I stand on this every day. One, you always have to remember where you came from.
Remember where you came from.
But don't allow it define you.
Okay.
Just have it in mind that at one point I was in the slums of Kamocha, jumping trenches. Right now we are people that feel like, okay, you have a higher intelligence. And these are people that have been raised in the US, had education in the US. But there's a difference they see. So if I come in with the mentality of being underprivileged, it won't work. Because we also have good education systems in Africa.
So remember where you come from. Don't let it define you.
Yes.
Point number 2.
You always have to know where you're going.
You have to know where you're going.
You always have to know where you're going. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. But that doesn't have to stop you from achieving what you want. From a young age, I've actually just realized all the people, my childhood best friends and all, they've always been saying, you used to talk about wanting to rule the US. And I'm talking about 2001, 2003, and then in Africa, without the mindset. I knew the US exists. I know we have family in the US, but it was not something that was achievable there. But here I am, meeting senators. I met former Senator Sherry Brown before
You met
was
Sherry Brown?
Yes.
The Senator of Ohio?
Yes, I was one of the 4 people chosen in school to go and meet him.
Tell me more.
We applied, they sent us links. We applied, and they only take 4 per school. And I was among the 4.
Among the 4 from Central State
That
University, Ohio, that went to meet the senator.
Yes. We still met the likes of Senator Greg in Ohio. We had a visit, I think, in September or early October.
Mm-hmm.
October, thank you. And we had to meet all these senators. And in the same room, we could see that we were making a difference because we're not asking the normal questions. Oh, as a black person, do you know this? We did our research. We did our homework about the people we're going to meet. And we tailored our questions to that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to that, that's a door. That's a marking.
Know your destination. Number 3,
Always stand on your values.
stand on your values.
No matter what. All the values you are raised with, because we are replicas of where we come from. The values I stand on today represent Miss Rebecca that raised me. Everywhere I go, even
Represents who?
Miss Rebecca that raised me. That's my mom.
You owe a lot to your mother.
And I know it. And everywhere we go, I realized one thing in her time when she passed. Was still shattered. You're 25, you want to do everything stupid, you feel you don't have curfew, you're confused. You're like, where does my life go?